yoke. Now the Archduke's army marches upon House Wolfort's stronghold, where Prince Roland is being sheltered by his loyal friends and allies.
It is time to cast our votes. Do we surrender Prince Roland, or do we protect him from those who would do him harm? Approach the scales of conviction with your token at the ready.
I believe in you.
I believe I can decide this matter with confidence.
So,
I agree.
The scales of conviction will illuminate the path we've chosen. The way forward is decided. We protect Prince Roland with our lives and drive Esfrost from our home.
After consulting the scales and reaching a consensus, House Wolfort resolved to shelter Prince Roland. Not long after, they find themselves besieged by an elite subset of Esfrost's forces. Commanding the Duchy's armies is none other than General Avlora, the deadly warrior who claimed the lives of Prince Franny and Sir Maxwell with her own hands. House Wolfort prevails against General Avlora's army and drives them out of Glenbrook. Though victorious, Roland sobs quietly, saddened by the sacrifices made in his name. Glenbrook is powerless, but knows they must keep the royal bloodline alive. Thus, the conspiracies and power struggles around the noble blood in Roland's veins continue to stain the land crimson. The news of Prince Roland's death spreads across the land like wildfire. With his demise, seemingly comes the end of the Kingdom of Glenbrook. But only days later, a proclamation is made that would bind Esfrost and Glenbrook. Bearer of the royal signet and last heir to the throne of Glenbrook, Cordelia is to ascend as queen. And wed Archduke Gustadolf. The news of Prince Roland's death spreads across the land like wildfire. With his demise, seemingly comes the end of the Kingdom of Glenbrook. But only days later, a proclamation is made that would bind Esfrost and Glenbrook. Bearer of the royal signet and last heir to the throne of Glenbrook, Cordelia is to ascend as queen. And wed Archduke Gustadolf.
It is time to cast our votes. Do we follow Sorslay's orders and smuggle salt across our borders, or do we take another path? Approach the scales of conviction with your token at the ready.
Forgive me, my lord.
Even still. I agree.
Just can't see it your way.
The scales of conviction will illuminate the path we've chosen. The way forward is decided. We have no choice but to follow Sorslay's demands and bring the salt to Esfrost.
No good deed is the product of selflessness, and Minister Sorslay's intervention on the Wolfort's behalf is no exception. In exchange for their livelihoods, Serenoa and his entourage must transport Sorslay's illicit salt across their borders. With no pride left to bolster them, they have little choice but to obey. Preparations for the journey are a somber affair.
Return our salt.
Tremble in fear! Ugh! You craven bastards and your castle-forged weapons! I'll stick them in your back next time we meet. Make our ideals reality.
House Wolfort, eager to report House N's illicit dealings to Hyzant, rebuffs an attack from Booker, Sorslay's loyal assistant, and gains entry to the city. Alas, Kamsel, one of the Saintly Seven, informs them that charges cannot be brought without hard evidence of Sorslay's misdeeds.
He bribed nobles right under our noses in Glenbrook.
How could I have been so blind to his dealings in the upper echelons of my own kingdom?
Though we know this to be true, I doubt we'll build a worthy case now that Esfrost rules the Crown City.
If we cannot secure the help of the remaining saints, we've no choice but to present our case directly to the Hierophant. Doing so will require incontrovertible proof of Sorslay's improprieties.
Incontrovertible proof that we lack, unfortunately.
Then, we must prepare to face charges of false accusation.
Now then, let us focus on where we might find the evidence we need.
We should search the Hierophant's palace.
That would require the Holy One's permission, which will never be granted so long as I, a Rosellen, am among you.
Were we to sneak in, anything we find will become evidence.
Minister... Surely you have not forgotten his position among the saintly seven of the Holy State of Hyzant.
I have written it all down as tradition requires.
Yes, I have read through your report. It is a sign of sincerity that you would proceed according to our customs.
Have you any proof of the foul deeds you claim have taken place in our land?
I have a witness who has seen the salt being transported. One of the guards at the source.
It is moot to judge Sorsley, one of the seven, based on evidence brought against him by a layperson, no matter what that evidence may be. Unless you have testimony from one who understands the goddess's will, there is simply nothing we can do.
Sorsley met in secret with powerful Glenbrook officials and bribed them. Minister Lila's secretary can attest to this.
Oh? A secretary to one of the saintly seven, you say?
My secretary's word is as good as my own. None is more devoted to the goddess than he. If any can grasp her will, he can. Perhaps you can shine some light on the matter, Lord Serenoa?
I believe he wished to ensure that word of the unlawful salt's destination would not travel.
Meaning that a powerful official in the kingdom of Glenbrook was also complicit in this illicit trade.
Where exactly are we to find such evidence against Sorsley and...
There must be some evidence in House End's encampment.
Ah, yes. The goddess would not be able to see into a place so stripped of faith. But your sins are indeed heavy, Sorsley. Therefore, we give this to House Wolford.
Thus, with House End ruined and a vacant position among the Saintly Seven to be filled, rumors of House Wolfort's ascendancy start sounding more credible than ever to the people of Hyzant. House Wolffort and the Roselle arrive at a fragile understanding through fraught and often heated negotiations. The Roselle naturally refuse to return to the Source. Serenoa, wishing to avoid seeing the Roselle repatriated by force, convinces their young leader Jerome to meet the next morning for further discussion.
Batterton is superior.
No! Impossible! I can't die! Someone! Anyone! Help me!
Esfrost and Glenbrook remain strong after declaring a trade stop with Hyzant. Gustadolf sends Erica to Hyzant to deliver his ultimatum, and dispatches an army to Glenbrook to increase the pressure on the Holy State. Hyzant, under the banner of Prince Roland, sends Minister Serenoa Wolffort of the Saintly Seven to prepare for retaliation. Softly but surely, Nozelia descends into war once more. Esfrost and Glenbrook remain strong after declaring a trade stop with Hyzant, time since the Salt Iron War.
It is time to cast our votes. We face a difficult decision. Do we surrender the Roselle living in our domain to Hyzant, or do we defy their orders? Approach the scales of conviction with your token at the ready.
I am sorry.
I am so sorry. I have faith in you.
I'm with you.
The scales of conviction will illuminate the path we've chosen. The way forward is decided. We require Hyzan's protection. Pain.
After retaking Whiteholm Castle, Roland assumes the throne. Joy over the return of the line of Glenbrook sweeps the kingdom. Yet not everyone is quick to welcome Roland back with open arms. Life under Esfrosti rule treated them well, and they suspect him to be naught but a figurehead of a puppet regime. Roland's absence, it seems, made room for discord among his subjects to flourish.
It is time to cast our votes. We have 3 options before us. Return to the Wolfort domain, depart to the Rosellan village, or stay in the capital. Approach the scales of conviction with your token at the ready.
You have my vote.
Please forgive me.
Just can't see it your way.
The scales of conviction will illuminate the path we've chosen. The way forward is decided. We march to the Rosellan village and drive the bandits from the surrounding woods.
The members of House Wolffort, having earned momentary respite after reclaiming the capital, decide to go their own ways. Roland remains in the capital to deal with his political opponents. Benedict returns to Castle Wolffort to visit the ailing Lord Simon. And Serenoa and Frederica, hearing reports of thieves in the deserted Rosellan village, head over to investigate. Roland and House Wolffort succeed in reclaiming Glenbrook, but they cannot rest easy, for new dilemmas threaten to tear the kingdom apart. For one, the secret of Serenoa's birth come to light with Lord Simon's passing. Meanwhile, the newly crowned King Roland struggles to reconcile his ideals with reality after punishing the Royalists. Finally, there's the truth about the Roselle and the untapped salt crystals buried within the earth, revealed in a book to Frederica from her late mother. None of these revelations have an easy solution. As all parties discuss the matters, they receive word that the survivors of the Ysfrosti army are gathering at the Grand Norzellian mines. Forced to put all else aside to focus on driving out their foe, Serenoa and his comrades steel themselves for battle. The path that House Wolffort walks leads them to the Hierophant's palace. They stand before the doors, determined to bring about a new age of happiness for all in Norzellia. With conviction in their hearts, Serenoa and his friends take their final steps forward, knowing that where this path ends, another will begin.